Okay, so we've been talking about Alexander the Great and the Hellenistic era, but what we're going to do in the next few days as part of our lesson is we're going to think more about the learning target of exactly what made Alexander so great. I'm going to be showing you a Google slide in a moment that really explains this better, but basically what we need to do is really develop better language about we need to master some of the definitions and learn more about the names, faces of this era, and it'll help you to better understand Alexander the Great and how he was able to conquer so many lands with such limited resources. So let's take a look at our Google Doc. Okay, so let's take a look at our learning objective. Like I said, we're going to be able to explain what made Alexander so great. So let's take a look at the language demands and some things that we're going to be learning. The first thing I had just mentioned that we're going to really better understand some of the definitions of this time, of this era. One of the things I want you to do is be able to use charts and graphs. You'll be doing this individually, but I want you to be able to graph the different lands that Alexander the Great was able to conquer. Um, one of the exercises that I think you'll have fun with is we're going to research. Uh, each each of you will research something on the internet. Find something unique and creative that for you really something about Alexander the Great that the other folks in your group may not know about. So we're going to share that information, and then once we're done with everything, we're going to have a final reflection that you will write and turn in that basically summarizes everything we've learned, including definitions, the graphing, and the online research and presentations to your group. So let's take a moment and look at some of the academic language as part of this target. You can see this is the primary group of information that we're going to be focusing on. The terms that you will need to know. We'll be adding some names and faces to this as well, but these are some of the concepts, some of the names that you'll need to master as we move through this lesson. Um, I think one I've already mentioned is the Hellenistic era. We'll learn more about that era and learn as it relates to Alexander the Great during this time period. So this is the performance assessment, the vocabulary. I think I've stressed that we really need to understand the words that are related to this era, and we need to understand how to use it in the correct context. The speech, we will definitely create a fun environment for this activity. You'll be working in groups, finding research on Alexander the Great, and then providing that summary to your group members. The graphing will be done individually. You will develop a graph that shows the different lands that Alexander was able to conquer. And then, as I mentioned, we will be doing a final reflection that basically encapsulates everything we've learned throughout this lesson about Alexander the Great and the Hellenistic period. So that is your learning objective, and this sort of summarizes everything I just said. We will begin our process now with learning some of those definitions.